Hello and welcome back to Chef Wannabe's Life. My name is Chris and I'm so glad to have you. Today we are making runzas. Excuse me. Today we are making runzas, and they are also known as kraut burgers, I'm not going to say this right, but I think it's, no, I'm not saying it. Anyway, it's also a fast food chain we have here in the Midwest, at least in Nebraska. And they're delicious. So we need to get started on a dough. This is really just kind of like a basic white bread dough. As a matter of fact, I am going to use this dough recipe today to make a couple of loaves of sandwich bread. So keep that in mind. It's just all your usual suspects. As always, the full recipe is linked in the description box below. So it's always there for you to get free, no ads. You click on the recipe, you're getting the recipe, not 25 ads. I'm really proud of that. That's why I always say that. Because have you ever clicked on a recipe and never been able to get to it because of all the pop-up ads? Ugh. That's what it does to me. I guess that's why I just started writing my own. Or getting them from my sisters or my mom. So here we go. You are going to add your flour in parts. That's why it looks so liquid, is because we haven't added all of our flour yet. Start that flour out a little bit slow so you don't get a flour shower as I'm cleaning up on the side there. Nothing like a little flour and yeast and egg perfume all day. Sorry guys, my allergies are insane. I hope you all had a fantastic holiday in whatever way that was. I hope it was the best version of your holiday. Happy New Year. I always feel so... New Year's is not my favorite holiday. I actually find it a little depressing, but at the end of it, I always feel very like I have this new energy and this new, like these newfound ideas and motivation, and I really love that. Did you make any resolutions? I don't do resolutions. I just try to be a better version of myself than I was last year. And so, yeah, there are a few things I've been working on, and I'm just going to continue to work on those things. Come on, Chris. Let's get this dough going, girl. Now, these... Normally, I'm moving on because I'm over this dough situation. These call for onions. I don't use onions because we don't love onions. There's like one thing I love onions in, and that's French onion soup. It's like pedal to the metal, right? You don't like them or you love them. So I didn't put onions in mine, but regardless, chop them very fine because they need to be chopped very fine. You can also use a regular head of cabbage in this and just slice it yourself, or take my advice and just buy a bag of pre-shredded cabbage, and I think there's carrot in there as well. Why does it seem like this dough is taking forever, you guys? It took me so long to edit this video. How did I manage to keep this much dough making in it? This is unfortunate. So you're gonna get this dough going. It shouldn't be sticky. It should just be a nice, soft dough. If you find it's a little bit dry, literally add a couple drops of water. Or if you find it's a little too sticky, add some flour, because It can depend on the humidity where you're at, the altitude where you're at. But don't sweat it. It is a very forgiving dough. I just use my mixer. If you want to use your hands, God bless your heart. That's all I have to say. Because when you use a dough hook, it not only mixes it, then it kneads it, and you can just let it rise. I just use the same bowl. I just kind of move the dough around, and I use some non-stick cooking spray to keep it from sticking. Or you can use a little olive oil and just brush it around. I used quick rise yeast, and it rose. It, at the very least, doubled, if not more. Probably more. In like 30 minutes. So let's get on this filling. Butter hamburger that I forgot to take out to thaw. Fantastic. You guys, in case you don't follow me on Facebook, this pot I got, my other Dutch oven, my enamel covered, oh my goodness. Anyway, it chipped bad a couple places inside, and I didn't know if I could still use it or not. And I read where maybe you shouldn't cast iron, my enamel covered cast iron. So I got rid of it. It was orange. Can we take a moment, please? And it was like almost $100 when I got it. This one I got at Walmart on Christmas clearance for $22. Yes, I did. Anyway, maybe you have to be a chick to like grasp the joy in that. Maybe. So after your hamburger is browned, we're going to add that cabbage. I added a full package, and then I ended up adding another little bit of a package because I can't ever get too much veg in there. I just can't. And I wanted to make sure there was plenty of filling. I knew there was going to be. I've made this recipe 752 times, but anyway. Let me know if you're from a state where you have Runza restaurants. And you can also make these with cheese and without cheese. I did with cheese, but my husband really requested more cheese next time. Salt and pepper. Pepper is key here. You have to use a lot of pepper because that's what Runzas have. And you're just going to stir it and keep the lid on it and let it cook down and let that cabbage get really tender. What is this? Make it make sense. I can't even tell you what hour it was when I edited this. I want to say like between 2 and 3 in the morning. Well, no, because it took me like 3 hours. And somehow that little bloop ended up in there. Oh, woe is me. Can you tell I'm a little whiny today? All right, let's get the rockin' and rollin' going on. You're going to get 12 out of this batch of dough. So however you need to get it to 12 fairly equal parts. Some people would get their little food scale out. I was not getting my food scale out for this. It is just not that deep. There are a few that might have been a little smaller. And let me tell you, after I let these rise the second time, I sent a picture to my sisters, and one of my sisters calls me. She's like, those are not Runzas. I'm like, yeah, they are. She's like, no, they're not. They're mini loaves of bread. They got so big, but I don't care. I put like 3 dinners in the freezer, and then we had dinner and lunch for one that I kept out. So you're gonna roll it out. I did all of mine cheese, of course. And I'm sorry this whole thing wasn't in frame like it should have been. And I couldn't edit it to be because I couldn't. You put the cheese on, put your filling on, and then you just wrap them up and seal them however you see fit, or that you just know they're gonna stay nice and not leak all over. The only real juice you have is the beef stock. And if you're going to use box beef stock, I would add like a good teaspoon of powdered bouillon to it, or a bouillon cube, because you need it to be super rich. I think that makes all the difference. And you're going to put the Worcestershire sauce in it anyway, but that's going to be, your filling is going to cook in that, so a lot of it's going to evaporate, and that's the only juice you're going to have. So there they are, before the oven. And then I am going to brush them with an egg wash so they look beautiful. I literally sloshed that egg all over. You can't see. It went everywhere on my stove. Holy. I am the world's messiest cooker. Messiest. But it's okay. Make sure you do your best to cover the whole thing that you can see, otherwise you'll see what happens. You get these lines that didn't get brushed. Sometimes it looks a little silly. Now if you want, you can sprinkle the top with a little bit of salt and pepper after you egg wash them. That's just up to you. But I hope you really enjoy these if you try them. I know it looks like a really long process, and it's just not. So in the oven they go. And they bake for about 25 minutes. And there you go. There they are. And they're filled with that delicious filling. I hope that you enjoy this. I hope you give it a try. I'll see you soon, and until we meet again, please do not forget to eat good food. Bye, everybody.